you're scared. And you should be.
This is not your company anymore.
Leave the cheek of CM Punk.
Out, combo move. This is what they've been doing. Hey, McAfee.
Everyone shut the up and sit down!
We got a mom in the front row who taught her daughter how to suck dick.
I'm Mina Shirakawa. I used to be a model. I want to put on a big show.
And that's the bottom line, because Stone Cold said so.
What is going on, everybody? Welcome once again to the Saturday Shenanigans, hosted by yours truly, the Renegade J. Williams. Hi guys. Hi guys. CM Punk drama bullshit to the side. I still consider Heyman the worst AEW champion they've had. First of all, we're going to bring in Walter Cruz.
I said that as a joke when what's his name did his promo Monday. He said, "I'm from a prestige university." I said he majored in Steiner math.
We've got the Heeb man, James Hebert, in the house.
I do really cool and dumb things on the internet.
Right. A lot of shit going on here. A lot of fucking crazy ass shit.
Where is Noah JD? Well, say his name and he appears, because we believe in Noah Foster.
Fuck is this intro? It is one of those things where as fans, we do have these desires of what we want to see, but sometimes you can't always get what you want, and there are reasons you truly don't get what you want. I wouldn't even listen to this in Grand Theft Auto San Andreas. What the fuck is this shit? God, rapid whack. Like I said, never been a greater time to be a wrestling fan, and with more companies in a more lucrative spot, in a more comfortable business spot, in a sense of mind, it seems, than ever. Again, WWE is not the only one. It is not the end-all, be-all. So let's go back to the Renegade Wrestling JJ Williams to get the official word. JJ, speak!
Make sure you tune in every week, because you never know who's going to drop in to join the shenanigans. Catboy is in the house.
Hello, my internet family. I say if you want to make them as evil as possible, make them really mad.
We have Mansfield joining the party now. What is going on, Josh?
Like I told no one when we were in Cleveland, him joining JCU was just an unfortunate side effect of my shenanigans towards you, JJ. I know how it can get better, Noah. The panel chooses you.
Shut the fuck up, Josh.
He said that so like.
We got some of the intro back.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
Just think how you and I had lunch together the other week.
That was different.
Ladies and gentlemen, the King is here. Say his name and he appears. We believe in King A-Train. There are so many believers in Joe Hendry. The only person on this panel that doesn't believe in Joe Hendry is King A-Train. Tell the world why you do not believe in Joe Hendry.
The reason I do not believe Joe Hendry is he is Fandango 2.0 in a entrance merchant. I rest my case, Your Honor.
Hey! There's nothing wrong with being an entrance merchant. He has some of the best entrances of all time.
Teleporting into the command center, all the way from Angel Grove High, Datilla.
Oh, yeah. I went to the command center on Thursday. I went to Vasquez Rocks, which is where they filmed a lot of episodes. Somebody actually climbed to the very top of those rocks. I made it halfway. I was like, I'm not going up there. Definitely Toni Storm versus Mariah May. That's the one match I probably am looking forward to the most. I really like the story. I'm familiar with All About Eve, so if it plays out that way, I kind of know how this is gonna go.
Say goodnight, Datilla.
Good night.
James, you did say his name. So he shall appear, ladies and gentlemen, the first time on the Shenanigans. Jeff Meacham is in the motherfucking house.
Ah! All right, we're coming in hard with the botch. All right, fucking hell. It's good to be back. It's good to have an opportunity to talk to the crowd on a Saturday.
If you want to have yourself stomach through it, you can go back and watch when the Main Event Mafia took over Impact. That's what James is talking about.
So if everybody just joined us, we're talking about people sedating people, attempted murder, boys, and tips. Welcome to Saturday Shenanigans, everybody. Aren't you glad I'm back?
Welcome back, Jeff.
Cool. What is going on, everybody, and welcome to a special earlier edition of the Saturday Shenanigans. Here across the Simply Reliable Studios brand of channels, it is I, your moderator extraordinaire, the Renegade of Wrestling, J.J. Williams, joined by the Simple Man, Noah Foster, joined by Mr. Reliable, Walter Cruz, and joined by our very special guest, the Princess of Perfection, Rachel Lay. Rachel, how are you doing this evening?
Good. How are y'all?
We are doing very well. Glad that you decided to join us. Glad that you're giving us some of your very valuable time here.
Well, thanks so much for having me. I appreciate it.
Absolutely. You've had a heck of a week this week. You know, NWA Power on Tuesday, TNA Impact on Thursday, MLW Battle Riot, which also aired on Thursday. And that's just the televised stuff that I know about, not to mention any smaller stuff that you've done. Tell the people a little bit about yourself, Rachel.
Yeah, I'm Rachel Lay. Ring name and real name. I wasn't creative enough to come up with a ring name. I also just my name's simple and short and easy to say, so I thought it would be just fine to use it until I get a contract somewhere. And I also wanted, when people Googled my name, to see my gymnastics accolades, just because that's where I came from. Like, my background is gymnastics. I did gymnastics my whole life, did it in college, and got into wrestling post-gymnastics.
Right on, right on. I noticed on your X account, University of Missouri, right?
I started at Mizzou. I transferred to Rutgers University after that.
It caught my eye because while I'm not from Missouri, a lot of my family is and lives in the Columbia, Centralia, St. Louis areas. So immediately seeing the Mizzou Tigers logo on you, I was like, ooh, there's a talking point.
Yeah, there's a reason I transferred. So
okay, so sore subject. We'll just move on from there then.
Nice one.
Fair enough. Fair enough. So when we get guests on here, we always have to talk to them about and ask them, when did you discover wrestling? What are your earliest memories of professional wrestling? You know, what made you decide that this was something that you wanted to do for a career?
I don't want to say I hate doing podcasts, but I feel like whenever I do these podcasts, people are always like, oh my God, she's a heel. Because when I answer these questions, it always pisses people off. I didn't know about wrestling. I'd never watched it. I knew who the Hollywood wrestlers were. My introduction to wrestling is when I got a DM from WWE Recruit. And I went to a tryout. And that was when I first learned about wrestling. So I didn't grow up watching it. It wasn't something that was on my direct radar. But I mean, as soon as I experienced the sport, I was like, okay, this is definitely something I'm interested in pursuing.
Live your truth. Never tell people, oh, she's a heel because she wasn't into it. That's your truth. You just have to deal with it.
Well,
we appreciate the honesty. I mean, everybody has a different journey. You know, I was the guy who for 25, 26 years was like, oh, wrestling is fake. It's a bunch of oiled up men in Speedos playing with each other. Why do I want to watch this?
And then I tuned in during the Attitude Era and I got captivated. I got hooked. So everyone's got their own story. Not everyone grows up, like this man seeing Bret Hart and the British Bulldog at SummerSlam at 3 years old and sucked into it. Don't sell yourself short. Everyone's got a different journey. We appreciate the honesty.
Yeah.
And the fact that, to what you just said, being emailed by WWE for a tryout because of your gymnastics background, how many people can say that before they even really watch a product or step in the ring, they're getting emailed by the biggest company in the world?
Yeah. Well, it causes some heat, but that's okay.
Own up to it. The way I see it, that just adds further to your pedigree. And speaking
That's
of your
why I'm a baby face. It's because if I really turned heel and just used all of the fuel that's being thrown into the fire.
Hey, if you go heel, that should be one of your lines. That's one of your lines right there. I got emailed before I even cared about this sport. There you go.
Right?
This time the ring was in a WWE ring. The thing is like I'm not that type of person at all. Like I try and stay like super humble and like grateful for all of the opportunities because I am working my butt off on the back end. But like there is like the facts of the matter, and I just don't want people to be like, oh, that's actually her if I play that character, because it's a very thin line of like, okay, she could play that character really well, so is this how she actually is in real life? And like to the people in the wrestling world that like personally know me, they'd be like, no, that's not Rachel at all. But there's so many people out there that don't know who I am personally, and they would be like, man, that girl is she's something.
Something special. Well, it's hard for people, especially in this business, to distinguish the character from the individual. Looking at your earliest work on YouTube with your Mark promo skills, I could see there's a ton of humility into you, but also a lot of dedication and continued growth and confidence. And I've seen you work a little heelish as well, because again, in wrestling, you got to look at all facets of how you're being booked and how you tell the story with the person that you're with. Of course, you work with the likes of Freya the Slayer and J-Rod, for example, who have worked their way for the independents. Nikki Blackheart for CSW and OVW. I was very impressed with that. What I like about you and your presentation, the first thing that goes with wrestling in my mind is how you present yourself. From your bubbly personality to your colorful ring gear to the way you present yourself in ring as soon as you step in the ropes. What went into that unique push-up, modified figure four pose that you do before the match? How did that come about?
So me and like one of my childhood best friends, we went to different colleges for gymnastics. She went to Auburn and I obviously went to Rutgers. And that was like our like signature pose that we kind of did as like a memento to each other. It was in like our floor teens and stuff. So when I was trying to decide what I was going to do for like a ring entrance, I was like, okay, well, anyone can do. If you're a gymnast or you have that type of background, anyone can flip. I've seen multiple girls on the 3-letter organizations flip, do whatever, do the splits into the ring or off the ropes into the ring or whatever. Okay, I can do that too, but like, how am I going to look different than every other girl? But also still show my athletic capabilities. So that's kind of where that came from. And again, it's like a little memento to my friend. So
it's brilliant, and I absolutely love that. And that's one of the first things I caught about you as a standout for me as an advocate towards all things wrestling. So keep at that, and definitely keep true to what you believe in, and also what brought you forward to this, whether it's wrestling inspired or just athletically inspired. Keep at it.
Thanks.
Your gymnastic background, is that where you get Princess of Perfection? Because I know that's a high demanding thing, and they literally demand perfection to be in gymnastics.
Well, she's class 10, so clearly she perfected the art.
Yeah. It's also just funny because the moniker Princess of Perfection is like a heelish moniker, but I obviously don't play a heel typically. And it's also coincidental that my two coaches are Tyler Breeze and Sean Spears. So you have
Flat back.
Prince Pretty, and then you have Perfect 10. And it's funny because I already had this character before like I met them. And so I'm always like, yeah, it's a knockoff of my two coaches, which I think is kind of funny in that sense.
Brilliant. That's brilliant.
But yes, like it came from gymnastics. Obviously, like the whole goal is to get a perfect 10 in gymnastics. And like everything I do in the ring is very pretty and graceful. We're working on making me look more aggressive. Because sometimes I do stuff and it's like, okay, that was really nice and really cool, but like you're saving your opponent. They're like, don't just like slam your foot down. And I'm like, yeah, but I'm like saving their head. They're like, no, do this instead. I'm like, okay. So it's just like, I don't know. Yeah, Princess of Perfection. And then like in wrestling, everyone's like, oh, did you big pop? You got a big pop from that. And I'm like, okay, well, Princess of Perfection, pop. So I am the pop. So the biggest pop of the night.
The perfect pop.
Play into that. Yeah.
There you go.
To the point, that's a great nickname and a great way to, you know, break it down. P-O-P, pop. You always work for the pop, the biggest pop. You are the pop, the Princess of Perfection, you know. It's a great marketing ploy.
That was Sean. That was Sean Spears. He came up with that in like 3 seconds.
I can buy that.
And I was like, oh my God, why did I not think of that? And it took him like 3 seconds to come up with that. I was like, this is why I pay you to be my coach.
Ty Dillinger, he's been around the block a few times, and so has Tyler Breeze. So Flatbacks, of course, is a major academy out of the Florida area, but you've also worked heavily, according to what I've seen on YouTube, out of FXC, out of the Tennessee area as well. How did that come about for you?
That's where I started out in Nashville. That school is no longer open and accessible to anyone. It shut down. So I was working at OVW at that time, but I knew I was going to be moving to Florida for wrestling specifically. It was just a matter of when my lease was up. I was told to go train specifically with Sean and Tyler, and then Ace Steel as well. So I've been once to Ace Steel's place, but I'll hopefully start going back more now that the new year's like started.
Got the whole year ahead of you to explore the country, and so far 34 matches in, you've explored a good portion. So great job.
Yeah, I've done a lot more than 34 matches, so yeah, I think that's just what's on the internet.
The cage match, yeah.
It's my
wrestling. Yeah, I was actually looking at that yesterday. I think I'm close to like 60, maybe like 70.
Right.
I don't know. Definitely not 34.
And professionally recorded 34 matches. Don't tell the whole story of the genesis of an athlete such as yourself, because of course one of the earliest matches, of course, on the YouTube channel was Cameron Pernay, I believe, which was like your second match ever, correct?
That was my first. Yeah, she was my debut opponent. So I met her at a Gabe Sapolsky seminar when they introduced me to Gabe, and she was the first girl I ever wrestled. So she was like, if you want me to be your debut opponent, like shoot me a text. And I was like, yeah, I'm the only girl at this place. So if you can come down from Missouri. So she was awesome.
Love nice. It. Gabe Sapolsky, another great name in wrestling, you know, obviously Ring of Honor history. This week, you know, kind of rewinding it back to this week, you got the opportunity to step in the ring with the former Impact World Champion, Tessa Blanchard. Tell me about that experience.
It was awesome. I wasn't expecting to get like much less a match, but like even on Impact. Like I haven't done anything for TNA yet. I've done some like extra ring work stuff for them, but usually like they'll have you go on Explosion or just do like a tryout match or something. And they were like, okay, you're facing Tessa on the live show. I'm like, oh, sweet.
No pressure.
So, I mean, I was totally fine. I honestly was less freaked out for that versus like the WWE ID championship, because I mean, I was talent enhancement at TNA, and so I was there to do a job, and that job was to make her look like the baddest person there is. And so I got 5 things to do, and Tommy Dreamer said, do those 5 things to the best of your abilities. So I really didn't have to think about anything else because she was just calling it out in the ring. So yeah, it was great. I had a great time with her out there. We obviously kept it simple. We had 4.5 minutes, so we really didn't get to do that much, but I think the story was told in the 4.5 minutes that she is the baddest girl at TNA and she's not going anywhere, and the rest of the locker room needs to fear her. So
She'll go to that title when she's ready, and it's all about maximizing your minutes, which clearly, especially in that clip, you certainly did. Even got Tessa's ringing endorsement. As far as I'm concerned, you definitely fit a knockout. So I'd love to see it.
I hopefully I am invited back for more opportunities.
You versus Brookside or Lei Ling Lee. Book it. Put her in Ultimate X. Calling it now.
I definitely wanted to talk to you about that because Tessa is so controversial, going back to what she said a few years ago. And just, I know a lot of people have mixed feelings about her, so I was curious what your experience was working with her. And based off of what I've seen on social media, her endorsement of you, and then what you just said, it seems like it was all just positive.
Yeah, I mean, again, I only got into the wrestling world about a year ago, so I don't know anything when it comes to who said what or what happened in any application of that. I was there to do a job, and she was my opponent, and we sat down, we blocked out the match, and we had a good time. And she was great. She was so nice. She was super encouraging and super helpful. And yeah, I was very grateful for the kind words that she told me in person and then on social media.
I love the fact you were with Alice Lane as well, who is also a regular referee there, but also an independent and also been involved in some of your other matches as well, which I also bet helped with the comfortness because each one of you play a part in telling what you're trying to tell, but also push forward not just the business, but yourselves.
Yes. Alice is great.
We've got a question in the chat room. One of our regular contributors, Nick, shout out to Nick, says, speaking of exploring the country and working your butt off, what do you look for when taking a booking from a promoter?
So again, I don't want to sound heelish when I say this, but like I'm trying to make as big of an impact as fast as possible. I know I'm a rarity when it comes to the type of moves that I do in the independent scene. So I want to be booked with people that are going to showcase those abilities, but also have the social media and the status in the wrestling world that's going to make me look good, whether I win, lose, or draw to them. I need those bigger opponents. I need those bigger promotions in order to elevate myself so that I have these 3-letter organizations knocking on my door being like, we need you no matter what. Like, you can talk, you can wrestle, you can jump off of a cage and do a swanton. You can do this, you can do that. Why wouldn't we want you on our team? So that's kind of what I look for. So I know a lot of people will go do smaller promotions to get reps, and that's completely fine when you're first starting out. Like, I obviously got a lot of reps on OVW very quickly. But again, I got a lot of reps on OVW very quickly into my career. So I was doing live TV my 3rd match ever. But I also came from a performative background sport for 18 years, and people seem to forget that as well. So, like, I have no problem in front of a crowd. I have no problem in front of a camera. I have no problem in front of an audience. I don't get nervous. Like, I've competed in basketball arenas with people screaming. Like, so even though I just started wrestling, as far as, like, experience and performance, like, I don't get performance anxiety. All of that goes. Like, I feel like I'm a along than maybe a typical person that starts wrestling and is only in it for a year. So
you're already built for pressure. It's like me. I came from the theater world before I trained to wrestle myself, and so you already can be used to that because you're already live on the go in front of people. So
yeah, I mean the only biggest difference is like calling stuff on the fly, which usually 9 times out of 10 you're not doing anyways. Unless something goes wrong, then you're calling stuff on the fly, but that's stuff that I'm working on like in practice. So
improv. Well, basically, wrestling in a way is like that method acting where you have to be able to react in such a quick moment. You know what's ahead, and when something alters that, whether it's just a certain situation or a point in the match or a sudden change in the momentum of the sequence, you have to be able to innovate upon that. Much like gymnastics, it's all about gathering yourself, keeping your balance, and performing the moves you wish to execution.
Mm-hmm.
So the moonsault, of course, going back to the 1950s, again, a move that definitely defines acrobatics, gymnastics, poise, trust, perfection. What made you decide to fall on that as your finisher?
Oh, it's not my finisher.
No, it's not?
No, it's a falsie.
I thought you were going to be like Christopher Daniels or Tiffany Stratton with that. But still, picture perfect moonsault. And I also like, there's shades of Tiffany Stratton with you, just in your posturing and the cartwheel takeover instead of the Alabama Slammer into the sidewind slam. I like those changes on those type of moves I traditionally figure about with the WWE superstars. So clearly the WWE, just from that little call, looking at your athletic background, has definitely had an influence on you and how you carry yourself forward right now too in the ring.
Yeah, again, that's another reason why I'm not a heel, is she's a heel and I've already been compared to her a numerous amount of times. So I think me just sticking as a baby right now is the better option. And it's also with the type of tricks and stuff I do in the indies. Obviously in like a structure of a match, your heel is not supposed to outshine the baby.
That is very true.
So it's one of those things where it's like, because of my unique capabilities in the ring, it's hard for me to be a heel, because even if I dial it back, I've had difficult times in past matches where I still have outshined the baby. So it's just, honestly, it's easier for me to be a baby. I sell like a baby. I don't sell like a heel. I'm learning to sell like a heel, but I mean, it's all just different in that sense.
Different in ring psychology as you keep learning through more and more different type of opponents with different athletic backgrounds and character showcasing.
I like that you like being a baby, because a lot of professional wrestlers, when you talk to them, they feel like being a baby kind of handcuffs them, and like heel you get to be yourself and like say, screw you to the audience, and you get to talk, crap. So people like that. Like, I like that you say you like to be face.
As a baby, like my character can be a baby or a heel, which is what they're looking for to begin with. It's not that you have a whole different character if you're a good guy versus a bad guy. It's just little tiny things that you switch that will make you good or bad in the match.
Polarization defined one of the greatest of all time in John Cena, case in point.
Who would you say your greatest rival has been so far in your young career? Or your biggest adversary?
I don't think I really have any rivals.
No, you haven't had anybody that you've had a good little back and forth series with?
No. I lost every Thursday for 3 months on OVW. I had no tit for tat with anyone when it came, and that's the only like consistent like promotion I've like worked. I have a belt at Atomic Legacy here in Orlando, but I haven't had like a multi-booked match with the same person. So
a series. You haven't had a series yet.
So I mean, like on OVW, it was okay. You're gonna 4 minutes with Freya. You don't even, you get a forearm in. Okay. So that was,
yeah. So she did her job, ladies and gentlemen. She did her job.
I try to say that I want to be the Chelsea Green of whatever organization hires me.
I love that.
I will be a yes man. And I'll do what I'm told. But I also I have really cool moves that I can showcase. So I think just being open to anything and everything. And like I said earlier, I'm not scared to take the crazy bumps or the crazy things. Again, I'm only gonna do that stuff at a signed promotion. But if you wanted me to do a swanton off the top cage like Tiffany, or do a moonsault with a trash can on me like EO, I don't have an issue doing that. I'll do it. If that's
You'll
what
go
I'm-
far with that. You'll go far with that attitude. Trust me, because they'd be like, "Oh, she's willing to do anything and pay her dues."
Business.
Hey, I love that you compare yourself and you're willing to be like a Chelsea Green, because we all pledge allegiance
Oh,
to
I
the
love
hot
her.
mess.
Yeah, she was one of the first WWE superstars I had an interaction with, and it was really cool. So I immediately after I met her, I think it was literally my first ever WWE show. I was working as an extra. I hadn't even had a match yet, and so I was in the back, and she had just done the trash can, or not trash can, the dumpster match.
Dumpster.
with-
Oh
yes.
no.
Yes. So she had just done the dumpster match, and was it Jelly Roll or was it was some country artist in Nashville. I think it was Jelly Roll.
It was Jelly Roll. You are correct.
He was like, we want to get a picture with her. And so I stood there and took their picture. And then I got to talk to her afterwards a little bit. I was like, oh, how did that feel? Blah, 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 blah. And she was just so freaking nice about it. Obviously she didn't know who I was, but I knew who she was. And she's like, yeah, I was supposed to put a banana peel on me before I popped out, but I couldn't find it. Because it was so dark in there. And she was so freaking nice. And so after that, I learned who she was, how she came into the business, all of her stuff with TNA, Underground, all that stuff. And I was like, you know what? She has so many different talents, and her character work is out of this world. She'll take an inch and go a mile with it. And I'm like, that's something that I want to be able to do for whatever promotion or organization that ends up bringing me on.
It's that type of work ethic and that type of foreign mentality that will make sure you're a commodity towards this business for a long duration to come, Rachel Leigh. So.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I think she said it in Unreal, where she was like, I'm getting booked every week. So why would I complain about that? Yeah, I'm getting booked to lose, but I'm getting booked every week to wrestle and do what I love.
100%.
Do you have
really
a goal?
Hold on, time out.
Sorry, Walter. Really quick, rewinding back to the adversary question that I asked, and you saying that you haven't really had a rival. Ash, who's one of our contributors, wanted to know, who would you like to have a rivalry with down the road? Is there someone you've encountered or yet to encounter that you know of on the scene that you think you could have a really good, let's sink our teeth into and have a 3-4 best of 7 type of series with you?
So I'm in a fatal 4-way in March with Lady Frost. And she obviously has the same type of background as myself. And I was talking to the promoter of Fight Factory, and I was like, I think this would be kind of cool. And he was like, you guys would have a banger match, because it would be Kalani and Sol Ruka at Heat.
Exactly.
That's what it's going to be like. And you're going to have the people that are this is a gymnastics routine. Oh, yeah, it is. But
What's
but it's still cool.
Division,
It's still cool. It's a gymnastics routine in a wrestling ring, duh.
Yeah.
But I mean, everyone commends Sol Ruka and all the stuff she does.
Mm-hmm.
She's just doing parkour. She's doing gymnastics. She's just making it look edgy, and she has the Jeff Hardy look. So everyone's like, ah!
When you relate with the charismatic Enigma, I mean, you already got a place in this business, and that forward springboard somersault stunner is a one-of-a-kind move that I can't even say I've seen before out of anybody.
Hey, the cliche is this ain't ballet. They never say this ain't gymnastics because you know what? Essentially, it is.
Yeah.
Accurate.
Go ahead,
Wrestling
Walter.
is everything.
I was just gonna ask if there's a goal or a preference on which company you would want to go to. Like, let's say you got 3 contract offers right in front of you. Who you signing?
Kind of goes to the question Nick asked. So
I would be honored with anyone that gave me the opportunity to work for them.
But piggybacking to Nick's actual question, which company do you feel fits your style more?
I obviously I've thought about that. That's something that's probably gonna stay in my mind just because I am somewhat media trained in that sense, and I don't want to burn any bridges with any type of organization. But I know there are places where I feel like I would add value in like a developmental way because I am so new. And working with certain girls, I feel like it would help enhance my talent a lot quicker than maybe some other places. But again, I would take heavily consideration into any promotion that gave me a full-time opportunity to wrestle.
Bailey's Lodestone seminar that gathered women across all over the world from different promotions ended with a very unique toast about collaboration over competition. It's that type of mindset where you're willing to collaborate, work with anybody, not show a garnered favoritism or a one-track way forward. That definitely will widen options, continue bringing opportunities for you. So I really do hope to see you one day again in TNA or in AEW or competing for the Birkin NWA or even going after Kendall Gray and the Evolve Women's Championship. Literally the definition of Evolve. She break out onto the NXT scene with Soruka out of the Iron Survivor. I would love to see a similar journey and follow it along with you to that point. So kudos to you. So going back to the whole thing about the gymnastics background, I'd love to use Kalani Jordan and Soruka as a comparison because that to me is one of the hidden gem matches of WWE. It is a lot that I see, particularly in this day and age of wrestling. A lot of people come from a gymnastics or acrobatics background versus like basketball, volleyball, more of a, a showcase versus a contact sport. Here you are now competing literally in a contact sport. So how has it been kind of meshing that idea of your gymnastics showcase in hand-to-hand conflict now?
I think that the gymnastics background, at least for me, and I'm sure other gymnasts can say the same, it definitely made the transition. I wouldn't say easy, but I would say it made it a lot smoother than maybe some other sports. But that also just comes with the fact that we're light on our feet, we're nimble, we know how to jump, we know how to fall, and that's a big thing. We know how to fall correctly. So that's something that I didn't have to get taught because I was taught since I was 5 how to land stuff. And if you're falling 10 feet off of the bars, how are you supposed to land so that you don't break your neck? It's just little things like that. Actual wrestling is what took the longest. The fundamentals and the foundation, just learning all of that stuff. But I mean, once I got that stuff down, all the other little tricks and stuff is just things that I thought of or I saw someone else do and I'm okay, we're going to change this a little bit. So that part wasn't difficult. Now it's just the psychology and the intent. That's my big thing is the intent of wrestling, not making it look like a routine, because that's something that a lot of the athletes turned wrestlers have had issues with is, okay, it's a routine, character work, pose here, routine, pose here, routine, talk smack to the crowd or sell or whatever. And it's okay, essentially it is scripted entertainment, but you got to make it look real. You're out there trying to kill this girl.
Exactly.
So, make it look like you're trying to kill her.
Sell me, sell me.
With being somebody that routinely works the independents, when you get the opportunity to do a TV performance or something, do you find it harder to work for the person in the last row of the building, or is that something that comes naturally from your gymnastics background as well?
I don't think it's ever been an issue, at least with me personally. And I say this in the most humble regard, is because I've done it essentially my whole life, where like I've done gymnastics meets in front of 100 people, and I've done gymnastics meets in front of like 9,000 people. So
I just know that some people say that that's one of the hardest things to get used to, because you get used to working the gymnasiums and the bingo halls and
it didn't bother me at all.
lodges, and they're so small. And then you get into the TV style arenas, and you've got to work for that person in the 400 section that, you know, isn't able to sit down at the ring and make sure that they see you emote and project and exaggerate and sell.
Yeah. I mean, with TNA, like, I just kind of turn it on. I was like, okay, we're going out there. I was told, hey, you need to pump up the crowd. I was like, got it. So my ring entrance wasn't aired on TV, but I ended up tumbling down the ramp. Since obviously, like, I wasn't gonna get to do any really gymnastics in my in the match. Tommy said, "What's the one thing you want to do?" And I said, "My moonsault." And he said, "Okay, well, we're gonna Samoa Joe that." And I said, "Cool." I'm totally fine with that because I still get to hit it. So okay, but I was like, okay, pump up the crowd. What am I gonna do to pump up the crowd? They don't know who I am. I'm coming out first. They're gonna be like, "Who is this girl?" I'm in New Mexico. No one really knows me. No one knows me in New Mexico. I don't know anyone in New Mexico. Like, I think that was my first time in New Mexico. So I was like, okay, what can I do? Okay, let's tumble down the ramp. So I tumbled down the ramp. The crowd was like, ah! And this is when I just started high-fiving everybody because they don't know who I am. So I'm just like, I'm yelling back at them. They're screaming at me. I'm screaming at them. So
interaction.
Yeah, and then I hit my little pose, and then they didn't air any of that. That's okay. I knew they weren't going to. So I was like, okay, well, I got to get the crowd on my side in like 20 seconds. So what can I do? Okay, let's do some crazy flips and stuff.
Well, whether it's on camera or not, at least you gave them a memory to go home with.
Yeah.
Exactly. You know, hopefully they'll remember the girl that did the flips down to the ring, because that's something that stands out.
Me, the flippy girl.
I got a fun question. Let's say, you know, copyright and royalties is not a thing, so you can pick any theme song you want. What would you pick as your entrance?
I don't know. Like right now, I use "Man Eater" by Nelly Furtado. But again, that's kind of a heel song.
It is.
I know.
I was going to ask you what made you decide to use that as your theme song.
I like it. I don't know. I just like it. I don't know if there's any princess songs.
Well, I mean, you could always use some Disney song,
right?
Some princess song that way. You know, since you come from a gymnastics background, maybe Tony Basil's Mickey. You know, that's more cheer though.
Yeah, I was like, I don't know what that song is.
No,
So-
oh Mickey, you're so fine, you're so fine.
Oh, I mean, yeah, that's a cheer.
Yeah.
Gymnasts and cheerleaders have like eternal beef with each other.
Yes, they do. Yo, no, that beef is real. I know.
You quit gymnastics and go to cheer because you couldn't cut it as a gymnast. That's the whole mentality there. But I mean, like, three of my like closest, well, like I have a lot of friends that were cheerleaders in college and the NFL and stuff. So I mean, but it's always that little stigma, like, oh, you couldn't cut it as a gymnast, so you became a cheerleader. It's just that little, when you're a kid and your coach is telling you, oh, she quit to go do cheer. Oh, so she couldn't handle it. It's just that you're like 8 years old and you're like, I despise you because you're a cheerleader. Just, yeah.
I've heard that. I know that. I know that because I used to play football, and at the pep rallies, it was always beef with that.
Oh yeah, it's well, and I've stunted for fun. Like I have a couple friends that are on the Titans cheer, guys and girls, and like I've stunted with the guys, and it's fun. It's hard. I will definitely give them props, and like I'm considered like big for a flyer. Like I'm 5'3", but like the girls on that team are like 5'1", like maybe 100 pounds soaking wet. So like the guys can throw them. And I mean, yeah, some of the stuff that they do, I'm like, okay. Like I could pick up some stuff fairly easy, but some of the other stunts they do, I'm like, yeah, I'm not doing that.
That's fair. Work smarter, not harder. But obviously, this is the most disciplined art form there is because, again, wrestling is everything. Speaking of which, outside your bookings, outside the rings, do you give yourself time, like with a tape study? Do you look back at not just your work, but other work, like from other like promotions or superstars or WWE, for example, that may have like encouraged you to continue like further pursuing this? What's the outside practice looks like?
Yeah, so like I try and watch as much as I can between like work, practice, and like traveling and stuff. So like I try and watch like NXT and Evolve and like TNA. Anything that like I have on my TV, I'll watch. Raw, SmackDown, the PLEs, any pay-per-view. But then like Flatbacks has like a whiteboard of matches that they recommend watching just for, I mean, different purposes, like getting moves, selling, intent, like stuff like that, psychology wise. So like I'll try and watch at least like 1 or 2 of those a week. There's like a list of like 100, so it takes a second to get through them.
Probably growing. It's probably growing and probably being refreshed every week.
Yeah, I mean, like when we have people come in from different organizations that are signed talent, like I know Ricky came in like a couple months ago and he put like one of his matches up there, and I think it was with Spears. It was Ricky versus Spears, the North American title or something like that. So I was like, okay, I'll have to check that out. So, and then he came and did cardio with us. So
selling, I bet you it's any Nick Nemeth match.
Yeah.
I know a lot of people like hate watching their work back. Are you the type of person that hates going back and rewatching your matches, or do you find, at least in this stage, that it's good to do to figure out where you may have done something wrong and fix that for the next time?
I mean, I know as soon as I'm doing it in the ring if it's wrong. Like even in the TNA match, as soon as we walked to the back, I went up to Tessa. I was like, I'm sorry, I didn't hear you there. She knew where I was talking about. And she was like, you covered it fine. Like, it didn't look delayed. I'm like, well, in my mind, it looked delayed. And I just, like, I apologized to her. I apologized to Dreamer. I was like, I'm sorry, I didn't hear what she said. They're like, Rachel, you're fine. But, I did an indie show back in December, and Breeze was the main event, and I was the first match. So he was, like, watching, obviously, because he's going to critique me on it. And I was running my comeback, and I was doing a different variation of my comeback, something just new to try out. And I was walking into an up and over. And I was like, oh my God, I'm walking into an up and over, and he's clocking this right now. And it was too late for me to like start running. It just would have looked like it would have looked weird. So I was like, oh, I know he's going to say something about that. And then like I did something else, and I was like, dang it, that was the wrong time for character work. He's clocking this right now. And so like I know when I'm doing stuff wrong, it's just like, yeah. So then I like after the match, like I walked back and I was like, I already have a list of everything I did wrong. And he was like, this, you didn't do a lot wrong, but like, let's talk about it. And it's like, okay. So like I am aware of when I'm doing stuff wrong. So it's just
a lot of it trying to get out of your own head, right?
Yeah, that's why honestly, like I love tag matches, because I can step aside, kind of like take myself out of the like moment for a second, be like, okay, I did this, and this wrong. This is what I need to improve on when I get back in the ring. I need to turn this differently, dial this up, maybe do this a little different, blah, 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 blah. And that's something like I would love to just be a tag team. Like if I get signed, whenever I get signed somewhere, like I know a lot of people are like, oh, I want to have a solo run. Like I want to do this, and this. I'd love to just tag team it. Find someone that is complementary to myself, whether it be someone as like athletically capable, or if it's the big small duo, like I would love to just be like a permanent tag. I think that would be so fun. I feel like I would excel in that, and I wouldn't ever get this like if I was told, hey, I need to do this, then I would obviously have a singles run and like do all of that. But I just feel like having a tag would be so fun. Like that was something that I pitched at my tryout because I was like, what can I do to make myself seem different? There's 6 other gymnasts here. So like everyone was a college athlete. Everyone had done their respected sport. There were 6 other gymnasts there. Okay, how am I different than every other gymnast? Well, in my promo, I talked about how I wanted to be a tag with whoever. And I think I had said like Tiffany was the NXT like champion at the time. And so like in one of my promos, I had said that I would want her to be my tag partner when we go up to the main roster. And we would be the like the buff Barbies or like the blonde Barbies, the bombshell Barbies. I don't remember what I said. Because I was bleach blonde when I went to my tryout. Like I had bleach blonde extensions and everything. So I think I said like the bombshell blondes, or I don't know what I had said. Like I think being a tag would be so fun.
Yeah, I mean, there's definitely a couple things to pick apart there because number one, it looks like women's tag team wrestling is really starting to take off after being stagnant for so long, you know, with AEW just establishing their women's tag titles. WWE looks like they're trying to reestablish it after, you know, just half-assing it, for lack of a better term, for so long. You know, the Knockouts tag division, you know, now that the Iconics, the Inspiration are gone, seem like they need some redevelopment. And you talking about wanting to be primarily in a tag team with a partner, not really doing the singles thing. That's the first thing I thought of was the Iconics, the Inspiration, because they've primarily been known as a tag team. They've had their little spurts where they were broken up and did singles, but they came back together because that didn't work out.
Yeah. And they both train at Flatbacks because obviously Cassie is married to Spears.
Yes.
Jesse was there yesterday. So.
And then the other thing to go from there, and I think this is a great time to mention it since you brought up tag team wrestling. Obviously, Podermania, you're going to be on that show. And Ed has messaged me the match that you're booked in.
Oh,
so we're going to be.
So you're going to tell me because I have no clue.
Yeah, we're going to be announcing it live on the air. Ironically, it is a tag team match that you've been booked in, a 6-person tag match. It'll be you, Emily J, and Danny Moe taking on Valentina Rossi, Sirena Veil, and Journey Burke.
Okay, cool. Well, no, Valentina. Sorry, I got to use her ring name. Rossi trains at Flatbacks with me, so. Nice. We'll probably run some spots together since we know each other's stuff. So that would be easy. But that would be fun. 6-man. 6-man's even easier because you're only in there for a third of the time. So
I'm just waiting for all 6 of you to collide in the ring at some point, just break out into brawls around ringside
at the end. Yeah.
Exactly.
Is there anybody in any company that you would love to actually be your partner that you'd be like, man, it would be so much fun if I could have her as a partner?
I have someone, but she has a tag partner already, so I'm not gonna name names.
Respect.
I was going to say, it's not Valentina, is it? Because we know she's NWA Women's Tag Champion with Tiffany Nieves. TVMA. We got to interview Tiffany last year.
Yes, they have the belt still, correct?
To my knowledge, yes.
Yes, they do.
Okay, I'll just leave.
I know a lot of their stuff is taped in advance, so if they've lost it, it hasn't.
It's very hard for me to because they do tape so far in advance.
Yeah.
My debut with NWA was in September, and they never aired the match.
Jeez.
That's crazy. Yeah, we just
they aired
the match
one
that just aired this week was you and Hayley J versus Vipress.
Yeah, and that was
Sirena Veil.
taped in December. So my September one, I don't know where it went, but it kind of sucked because it was my debut and I won and I gave the pin. So I don't know where that went. I think they said it was
NWA library somewhere.
Lost in the
on
ether.
YouTube, and then it never did. So I don't really know what happened with that. So I didn't even get hey, this is Rachel Leigh debuting because they never showed it.
Oh,
but yes, it is a little confusing because they do tape stuff, and then they don't air it till a little longer down the road. So I obviously know what has happened, but I don't know what
if everybody else knows that it's happened.
Yeah, and you don't want to be that person.
Spoiler alert! It's all good. We appreciate that.
It's probably coming up in the next 2 weeks, though, since we're on the December tapings now. It happened at that show. So
fair enough. I would love to have seen you in a tag against Pretty Empowered, Kenzie Page and Kylie Page, the Page sisters. I think that's the tag team actually in the NWA for the women to be the bar to go after.
Yeah. I unfortunately won't be at their next taping because I am going to be in Canada. But hopefully, whenever they give me the dates for I'm assuming it's going to be April is when they tape again. I'll be able to do that. Maybe it's before Mania. I don't know.
I'm expecting you to be heavily booked during WrestleMania weekend outside Podermania, of course.
Yeah.
Tickets still available.
I am.
Nick is popping in the chat because he's Canadian. So knowing that you're coming to Canada, he's now going to try to find you and see that show.
The weekend of February 21st.
We're in Canada.
He's in Toronto. Show.
Say Winnipeg, because that's actually
it's Ontario.
Oh, Ontario. Okay.
But it's a town. It's a small town. I think it starts with a G.
Okay, Ash, Nick, you got your geography lesson.
I was going to say, Nick's going to try and be a G town in Ontario.
I'm just happy because
the match card. I think it was called Gwen or Gwen. I don't remember.
Gwen.
I got excited because JJ and I are going to be there the whole week of the WrestleMania. So
we've got our Airbnb in Vegas. We got our collective tickets. We'll be going to Podermania.
GUELPH.
Yeah, Nick already knew. He put it before you said it.
There you go, folks. If you're in the area,
it's an all-women show that I am doing.
Nice.
Queen of the Ring.
So maybe Nick will go to that and support you there.
In Canada?
Queen of the.
He's in Canada. He's in Toronto.
Oh, I thought you were saying you were going to go there. I was like, wow, that's commitment.
We're in California, but we're going to be in Vegas for all that stuff. But Nick lives in Toronto, Ontario, Canada.
Ah, gotcha.
So Guelph, I guess, isn't that far. Look, he's saying done. Yes. So he'll be there.
Yes, it's off the rope is the promotion.
Okay.
But yeah, I'm excited for Mania. I went last year. I didn't wrestle. Just because I was only 4 or 5 matches in. So one
that's fair.
One that would have been a lot, and 2, I don't think anyone would have booked me for the sake of it. So now that I have a little bit of relevancy, it was a lot easier to get on some shows. I'm in the process of getting on one more, and then I think I'm going to be done. So I believe I'm doing 4 shows, but I'm also doing. I'm sorry.
I said, what a difference a year makes, huh?
I know. I'm also doing WrestleCon. Is it con? I always get confused. between Cade and WrestleCon. So I'm doing that all 4 days, I believe, as well. So with my sponsor. So
Right on. We'll definitely be popping into that as well during the downtime from the collective shows. Lots of people we want to try to see and network with.
Networking is key. That's how you push forward in this business. And already, like Walter says, what opportunities that you've made for yourself in literally less than a year every year. So again, congratulations to you.
thank you. Yeah, I know. It's pretty crazy. I hit my 1 year, and then like 2 days later, they're like, okay, you're wrestling on TNA. I'm like,
Yeah.
I'm
Hey,
like,
when the rocket's on you, just don't forget the little guys like us when, you
I
know, the Chris
know.
Van Vliets are calling you and stuff.
I know. I'm like, when can I come to the next loop? Let me know when I can come to the next loop, please. So, yeah, so it's been great. And yeah, it's been a crazy year. It's definitely been a crazy year for sure. So excited for year 2.
The nervousness just adds to the excitement, as learning is lifelong. Wrestling, you might as well say, is lifelong as well. But outside wrestling, I'm sure you have those moments to decompose, the ways that you celebrate after getting a book, the way that you relax. I see a puppy, for example, in the background. How do you spend time just, you know, outside of wrestling? Sometimes the mind and the body has to shut down and recuperate. Do you have like a regular routine or something like that?
I mean, I think it's just from like the whole, I hate to just keep going back to the gymnastics background, but like I'm used to training like 5-6 days a week, 4 or 5 hours a day. So like I make sure that I go to the gym every day, but I go to the ring at least 3 to 4 times a week. And like we do ring cardio and stuff like that.
Get the reps in.
Like I guess I relax. I read books and stuff. Like I really like to read, but like as far as like downtime, like I'm either in the gym or I'm in the ring or I'm traveling or I'm working. So, and I'm completely content with that. It doesn't burn me out. I'm fine with that type of pace. I think that's where I excel. It's just having that constant, like I have to do this and I have to do this. I have to do this. So
check it off the board as you go.
It almost sounds like there is no downtime.
Not really. Well, and also like the thing is like I know people like obviously like wrestling can be painful. But in comparison to what gymnastics the pain threshold is, I have no complaints when I have to do stuff in the ring. So
right on.
So he's chimed into the chat a little bit. He told me beforehand that I had to ask this question, so I know he's going to get mad if I don't. Nick, we call him the Canadian king of food. He's always asking people what they're having for food. So he wanted me to ask you what your pre-show ritual like meal is. Like, is there something specific that you eat before a match or even after a match? You know, traditionally?
I mean, like when we would drive from Nashville to Louisville every Thursday, we'd stop at Buc-ee's. Do you guys even know what that is?
Yeah,
I've heard of it, but I've never been. We don't have it
like
here.
A giant gas station. They have like decent food and stuff, but I wouldn't really say I have a like ritual. I'm not superstitious. I was superstitious when it came to gymnastics, but not wrestling. I just have my emotional support water bottle because I get cotton mouth. And I'm too scared to chew gum in the rings. I feel like I'm going to choke on it. So I just suffer.
You're one of the very few involved in sports without superstition, because you hear the Michael Jordan always had to have his North Carolina shorts underneath. You hear people had to have, Bret Hart had to have the same socks on in his boots. Like a lot of people are superstitious. That's like...
Yeah, no, I guess it's just because I didn't grow up watching wrestling. I don't know, but like I had superstitious things that I did when it came to gymnastics, like a certain way I would do something before I got on the event, or like before I did a certain skill, I would do something a certain way. So like I don't know.
Just breathe and do it.
Like
Yeah.
with me, my mouthpiece when I played football, it had to be on the left side of the helmet. I couldn't do it on the right, or I feel like it's a bad game.
Yeah. I mean, again, it was like in gymnastics I did stuff, but not really in wrestling.
Okay.
Wow.
And he asked, he's being selfish with this one. Is this the first time you've wrestled in Canada, or have you wrestled there before?
Yeah, this will be my first time. So
Okay.
I think it's just, I like was in the Canadian airport for a layover, but I've never actually like stepped foot in Canadian soil. Well, I guess the airport would be, but you know what I mean. Like
No, I get you.
actually been outside of the airport, so this will be
It's
my
the same. It's the same with me. I flew, going back to the Missouri, I flew to Missouri one time and I had a layover in Denver, but I can't really say that I've ever been to Colorado because I never left the airport, so.
Right.
Yeah, my tryout was in Detroit, and I brought my passport so that we could all walk over to Canada to go to the casinos, and then no one else had their passport, so I didn't go to Canada. I just was like, okay, I guess we'll stay in Detroit, guys. That's definitely the safer option of the two.
I'm revealing my age, but believe it or not, there was a time where you didn't need your passport to cross over to Canada.
Oh.
Yeah.
Well,
and she's not wrong, by the way, as someone who's in the bi-state area. Yeah, safers, right? Quote unquote. So
we had
gymnastics
fun after, it was obviously like after the tryout, we all went to like, center and stuff. But I was like, let's go to Canada, and everyone's like, we don't have our passports, and I'm like, y'all weren't thinking ahead. Come on.
That's what you gotta do in wrestling sometimes, is literally think 2 steps ahead. So again, clearly that itinerary, that discipline of gymnastics has followed you through wrestling. Was gymnastics always like the foreground for you? Did that run in the family, or was there just like a certain ad that you just self-adopted that got you into that? How did the gymnastics background all begin?
I was watching the 2004 Olympics, and Carly Patterson was she won the gold medal, and I looked at my parents and I was like, I want to do that. And my dad was like, oh fuck, there goes my whole wallet. Well, damn, because he was trying to make me play softball. He was teaching me how to throw and hit ambidextrously, because he was like, she's gonna be a professional softball player. And then I was like, I want to do gymnastics, and he was like, oh god, there goes my entire savings account. And that was that. Yeah, so I got a scholarship, so it ended up, I guess he didn't end up having to pay for college, but he paid for college through gymnastics. That's what he always said. Because I paid for your school already, so you have to get a scholarship.
You have to get a scholarship.
That's awesome.
But yeah, it was just because I was watching TV and I was like, oh, that's sick. Can I do that? And they were like, I guess.
And then you got a call from WWE based in your background, and
I know. I was like, oh, that's sick. Can I do that?
I want to do this.
So, but it's crazy because I always tell people this is I wanted to be a stunt double. Kids are like, I want to be a movie star. I want to be a singer or whatever. I wanted to be Jackie Chan. I wanted to be Jackie Chan when I grew up. That was my whole thing is I was like, oh my God, that's sick. He just flew out of a plane and didn't kill himself. I was like, I want to do that. And my parents were like, what the fuck? Okay, well, gymnastics, I guess, is a good alternate route. And then wrestling came along, and I was like, wait, this is like Jackie Chan. But
I was gonna say, be in hardcore matches. There's your Jackie Chan right there.
Yep. She just needs to climb a ladder, grab the X, or just go for the moment and moonsault off the top of it.
Yeah. But even just wrestling, it's okay, it's that adrenaline junkie feed that I needed. Post gymnastics, I really couldn't find anything that fueled my passion to stay athletic, and there was no way in hell I was going to start running marathons because those people are psychotic. So I just decided to start bumping on my head instead. and give myself premature CTE because that's a lot more better.
That's hilarious. A professional wrestler calling someone else psychotic. Because you gotta be a little psychotic to love
Oh my
wrestling.
god, marathon runners are crazy, and I say that as my best friend is like a marathon runner. So.
Same. I have someone that just ran literally a 26 point something marathon. I'm like, you are bloody nuts.
Yeah, my friend, she came down here for the Disney marathon a couple weeks ago. So we had to get up at 3 a.m. and go to Disney and just sit there while she ran. And like she killed it, which is awesome. And she's like, so did you get this like high that like you want to do it now? And I was like, no, absolutely not. I have no desire to like ever try and run a marathon. I was like, maybe like a 5K if like I marry into a family that does turkey trots on Thanksgiving. Like that's pushing it though. Like if I'm gonna have to run a 5K on Thanksgiving morning, I ain't cooking. So
No, you're doing one or the other. I tell my family this. I could walk halfway across the city. You ain't getting me to run more than half a block.
Run down. Go ahead.
I was going to say, and when it comes to the Disney marathons, I've always wondered about those anyway, because on the one hand, you've got the people that are like the big time competitors like your friend. But like at the same time, from what I've seen, because I used to be a huge Disney dork and I'd see pictures posted, but like they trot characters out along the route that you're running. And it's like, I would be stopping to take pictures and stuff and not committed to the run.
I think
So it would probably be my worst run.
Mount Everest is what they let you ride. You can literally just stop in the middle of the marathon and go run or go ride Mount Everest. And they go take pictures with the characters and stuff. Yeah, but it's a Boston qualifier. So like you have the people that are there that are like, okay, well, if I get this in sub 3, like it's obviously a Boston qualifier. So those people are running it like, but like she was sitting there like taking selfies with like Donald Duck. And, like she's run, I think 3 or 4 marathons now. So like she's a casual marathon runner. She's not trying to do the big ones. Like she's not fast enough yet in that sense. And she's like, well, she was doing this one for like a charity. She got her bib through like a charity thing. So like awesome. She's like, yeah, I'm gonna take the pictures. I'm gonna do the ride. Like I'm gonna have fun with it. So like she did it in sub 4. I don't know. I think it's sub 4. She did it in less than 5 hours. So it was like 4 hours and 39 minutes, I think, or 42 minutes.
Right for a 5K.
For a marathon, yeah. So
for a marathon. Oh, okay.
Yeah,
4
hours,
you wouldn't do it.
4 hours and 39 minutes, I think, is what she did. But
I legit wonder how those people's hearts don't explode.
You can always sprint down to the ring one time and slide in the ring, and you tell your friend that's as close as your ass is getting for me to do a marathon.
I know. Well, I'll do like when I do cardio, I do like sprinting intervals. So like I'll do sprinting intervals, but my body is not built for long distance. Gymnastics is not a endurance sport. The longest you're going is for 1.5 minutes. So my body's just like not built to do long distance stuff like that. And I could probably train my ass off for months on months on months, and it still wouldn't make a difference because I'm not built like a runner. I'm very stubby and muscular. So like CrossFit would be like, if I had to say a type of sport like that I would choose. But also like, I just didn't want to build that type of muscle. I like the amount of muscle that I have right now, and I'm content with the amount of muscle I have.
There you go.
If a promotion wants me to build that type of muscle and look like a certain way, I could easily do it, but I like the way I look right now. And unless I'm getting paid 6 figures to turn into a different muscle variation of myself, then I'm content with where I'm at right now.
Have you ever considered or thought about representing the country and trying to do the Olympics in gymnastics?
Oh, no.
No?
Not even when you were younger, you didn't think about that?
I mean, like when I was like 9, yeah, but like gymnastics the Olympics is one. It's every 4 years, and there's 5 girls that make it.
Yeah.
Out
Their
of
odds
thousands,
were
out of
very
hundreds of
freaking slim.
thousands, right?
And Simone Biles was in my age group. So there was already one spot that was already taken. So then you're fighting for the other 4 spots. So it's just like, it was just something that like, okay, I turned 12 and it was like, okay, do you want to go the Olympic route or do you want to go the college route? And I was like, let's go the college route. So that's what I did.
Hey, it was the more doable one, and it paid off for you in the end because it also brought you a whole different influence on how you want to
Yes.
carry your life.
Yes,
got
I
you to
mean,
that email.
but also Simone Biles' ex-boyfriend was in the WWE because she asked Triple H. So I mean, there's different avenues to it. He's no longer in the WWE, but yeah, he essentially got a tryout and was with them for a little bit because Simone Biles asked Triple H.
Hey, people you know, right?
Yeah.
Hey,
He was awesome too, but he's just doing like full-time fitness influencing now. Obviously they broke up, but like I haven't done it yet, but his moonsault that he does or he did was like a huge like tuck kick out moonsault, and I was like, okay, like I could totally do that, and it's different than like the typical moonsaults that you see. His name was Stacey Irvin. So I don't know if that rings a bell. He was only with NXT, I think, like maybe a year. But
Yeah, very, very short tenured in.
he's a
the
Michigan
development.
gymnast. Yeah. So
when we see that variation of a moonsault come out of you, we'll know where it came from.
I know I saw and I was like, wait, no one does this. I mean, but my moonsault's different in a sense anyways, like compared to everyone else that does their moonsaults. So I slap my thighs when I do it.
I
And
noticed that.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I think about the moonsaults, and it's like, okay, there's the ones that jump from the bottom to the top. There's those that jump up on all 3. There's those that are completely flat body that might have their arms spread out. With you, though, there's that moment where I feel that you get in a position, but it's almost like you're indicating to yourself more than your opponent execution. And that slap was very noticeable that I heard that. I noticed that you do that.
Yeah. Yeah. It's literally just because in gymnastics, when you're on the trampoline, you're doing this move called a Cody timer. And it's essentially, it's a backflip. You slap your legs. It's a timing thing. You hit your stomach on the trampoline and you like pop your hips up and you do like a double backflip or a full twisting, whatever, or a double full. It's just a technique thing. Like if you asked any gymnast turned wrestler, do you know what a Cody timer is? They're gonna say yes. And if you showed them my moonsault, they're gonna be like, yeah, that's what that is. So
now I know what to ask Soruka if I ever meet her.
yeah,
that might be a good name for a
she
finisher,
would
Cody
know what
timer.
it is. The Cody timer, yeah. It's a vault drill on the trampoline, and you you slap your thighs. But it's more of a timing thing for me because if I were to do that from like a higher elevation, then obviously I would have to like prolong it and then slap my thighs. It's just like, okay, I need to rotate now type of thing.
Gotcha.
I guess that's my superstitious thing that I do. I don't know. I could do it without doing it if I needed to, but like, I guess it's just
ingrained in you.
Habit. Yeah, it's a habit.
Hey, you build yourself a way to go and you follow on through with it and you adapt as you go as needed. So don't blame you.
All right. Well, I feel like we've taken up enough of your time here, Rachel. You've been very gracious, giving us almost an hour and a half of your evening here. We want to thank you very much for joining us.
No problem. I'm going to go to Insomnia Cookies afterwards because I went and picked up my order and they gave me the complete wrong order. So now
I hate when they do that.
And like the thing is they didn't even give me one correct cookie. Like it would be one thing if it was like, okay, they messed up 1 or 2 cookies. None of the cookies in there are what I ordered. And I'm not a fan of chocolate, just personal preference. Like I was allergic to chocolate when I was younger. Like, well, I was allergic to the cocoa beans and then I grew out of the allergy. So like I'll eat it in moderation now, but like I don't have like a fixation for it. And every single one of those cookies is like either chocolate chip or double chocolate or mint chocolate. I opened the box and I was like, you've got to be kidding me.
Bad business.
This is not what I ordered at all. And I tried calling them back, and of course they weren't answering the phone. So I'm gonna drive my happy ass over there, hand them the box, and be like, hey, this isn't what I ordered. I know it was like 2 hours ago, but like, can I please have my freaking sugar cookies and my peanut butter cookies?
That's what I like, the peanut butter. They gave me someone named Walker, and my name is Walter, and they gave me Walker's order. But at least I can kind of see why they did that. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah. This is Flynn. But yes, so I am that type of person where I spent $16 on these cookies. I'm going to go get the correct cookies. If like, okay, if there would have been like 2 or 3 of them that were like in my order, then I wouldn't have complained and I would have just eaten them. But like, every single one of the cookies is wrong. So I'm coming back, and I brought him in when I went, so I'm gonna bring him back with me and be like, yeah, you remember me. I was the girl with the wiener dog. You got my order wrong.
They don't know who they're messing with. They don't realize they were gonna piss off a professional wrestler. They're like, wait a minute,
Right.
sorry.
You know who I am.
Yeah.
Why don't you tell everybody where they can find you on social media?
Okay.
And any upcoming shows that you've got, like you said, you mentioned the one in Canada, where people can look for you.
Yes. So, Instagram is Rachel_Lay. Twitter is Rachel_Lay with 2 Y's. Facebook, I guess, is Rachel Lay. I don't know. YouTube is Rachel_Lay with 2 Y's.
Yes.
I think that's it. Oh, and the upcoming shows. Canada. And then what am I doing in March? Athena show in Dallas.
NPX.
Yes, so I will be on that. Oh, excuse you. I don't know why he's growling. You probably heard someone outside. What else am I doing? I have my calendar in the bathroom. I have like one of those big ass calendars.
Yeah.
Like,
Oh yeah,
it's
yeah.
literally big ass calendar.
And I have that itinerary in order.
Yeah, I'm trying to I can't obviously see it from where I'm sitting. But I have another show in March, but I can't think of it.
And then, of course, Podermania coming up in April.
Yes.
You, Emily J, Danny Moe, taking on Valentina Rossi, Sirena Veil, and Journey Burke. Put you on the spot a little bit here. Do you want to cut a little promo against your adversaries? Anything you want to say to those women ahead of your match?
We're gonna bring the pop.
Someone put that on a shirt.
Yeah, you got to do that shirt and then kind of use the cereals logo, the cereal pop, but just like with your own logo in there.
What, like
and we're
a
gonna bring the
serial
pop.
killer? Like when serial killers?
There's a cereal called Pops, but so you can kind of take their
I
box
thought you were
but
saying
use
when
your
people
version
use
of pop on it.
cereal boxes and they make like words out of cereal boxes. Like what cereal killers do.
Dude, he means the font, the logo. But yeah, market Rachel, that's brilliant. Market yourself, because indeed, as she said in her earliest little promo after her tryout on YouTube, Rachel Lay is here to stay, and she certainly is going to slay anybody that's in her way. And I look forward to continuing watching her journey for sure.
Every day. It's easy to rhyme my last name. So that's another reason why I accept it.
There you go.
But again, we want to thank you for joining us, Rachel.
Thank
you
you
are
for
the first
having me.
in a series of Podermania talents that we're going to be having on over the course of these next few weeks. We're going to have Brittany Blake coming up February 21st.
The current
Ring announcer Heather Lynn on February 28th. We're going to have Kaya McKenna March 7th. March 14th is still open. We've got Jocelyn Navarro March 21st. Wow. And La Leona Alejandra Quintanilla for March 28th. So lots of women still coming up, part of the Podermania here on the Saturday Shenanigans to discuss with. We wish you all the best in your upcoming matches, and I know Walter and I are looking forward to seeing you in person in Vegas on April 15th.
Yes, I'm excited.
I have a wall of like all professional wrestling autographs, so I already got the spot for yours open.
Oh, yay. I'm excited. Well, thank you again for having me on.
Absolutely. Thank you for giving us your time. And you have
It's
a
been a
good rest of your evening.
Get your cookies.
I know.
Yes,
we're going to
get
go
your
get the
cookies.
cookies. Go get the correct cookies.
Don't deny a wrestler her cookies. Damn it. God bless you, Rachel. All the best.
Bye.
Bye. All right. That was awesome.
She's got to get a partner with the nickname Weasel so they could be Pop the Weasel for the tag team.
You damn it, Walter! You freaking idiot!
I was going to say, you realize she was still backstage and heard that, but
I'm just gonna
we're
slap
gonna
you when you're in Vegas. You deserve it.
we're gonna take a second. We're gonna run our updated watch along trailer, and then when we come back from that, we are going to break the announcement of who will be joining us on April 4th that I didn't announce when I ran down all those other names. So we will be right back.
And now for a taste of things to come.
And as always, right here at the SPECIAL Studios, as you see in that trailer, we truly encompass, embrace, celebrate, engage, pontificate, analyze, criticize, react, and watch along to all of the wrestling. Again, thank you again to Rachel Lay for giving us 90 minutes of her time. If you want to learn more about her, folks, you heard on the social media. She also has a YouTube channel right here. Please go check out her work, follow her along her journey, and subscribe.
You know,
And without further ado, are you guys ready?
Yeah.
I know y'all know.
I'm ready.
Many times in life, we find ourselves asking that $1 million question.
What if? What if?
We asked for that promotion.
What if?
We asked the cute boy or girl out at school.
What if?
We took a stance for something we believed in. Well, for us here at the Simply Reliable Studios, that
what if
has finally come to fruition.
Most fans attend wrestling shows for the spectacle, the entertainment, and to get lost in the battle of good and evil. But no one told me that when I went to a pro wrestling event, it would change my life forever. When I was 8 years old, I told my parents that being a pro wrestler was my dream, and I needed to find a way to cross over the guardrail from being a fan in the front row to being a champion in that ring one day. But a dream means nothing unless there is action. So I went to work, because a dream without action remains, well, just a dream. So I trained in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu dojos just to get better in the ring. I worked in pro wrestling media just to be in front of a camera. School? Yeah, I finished high school early just so I can train full-time in professional wrestling. You want long-term storytelling? Well, this story has been 10 years in the making. And now, I'm not just crossing the guardrail, I'm tearing it down. For every person who ever looked at that ring and saw their future, I'm proof that it's real. That with heart, hustle, and hell-bent determination, you can turn the dream into destiny. This isn't just my story. It's my era. And I'm just getting started. But the real question is, where?
That's right, ladies and gentlemen. Saturday, April 4th, everybody's BFF, Izzy Moreno, joins the Saturday Shenanigans.
I almost got a tear in my eye in that video, man. Like, there's been no one more than us that's been pushing her. And how many stories did we involve her in when we do the booking thing you and I do, JJ?
Outside simply predicting, outside shenanigans, outside watching along the evolution of that young lady's inspiration through the black and gold NXT to her first media appearances and interviews to her winning the Mission Pro Championship at a Hybrid Wrestling Academy to being part of WWE ID Tournament showcasing and beyond. That is right, folks. You saw it correct as day. Izzy Moreno.
I'm so looking forward to April. At this point, I'm looking more forward to the week of WrestleMania than WrestleMania itself, with everything we've got, to be honest.
To be fair, that's kind of been my mood for the last several years, but this year encapsulated that even more so, more than ever.
You know, Walter, you mentioned almost getting a tear in your eye. Every time I see that video, I get emotional.
Mm-hmm. You don't get emotional, you don't have a soul.
You know, I don't know why I do it to myself, but every time I see that video, I get emotional. Because at the end of the day, that little girl, and she's not that little anymore, she's 18, she's a young woman, but that girl is us.
Mm-hmm.
That fan, that sat front row, that had her favorites, that idolized her heroes, that dreamed big. She's just making it happen where we all fell short.
Yep.
And so, and I have reached out to her more than once to try to get interviews in the past and nothing. So I will say it here and I will say it every time we promote her going forward. Thank you to Edward Laredo, promoter of Podermania, for nudging her a little bit, for talking to her, for telling her about us. Because without that connection that we made in January, this would not be happening.
And again, folks, you still can get tickets for Podermania represented at Las Vegas in the All Women's Professional Wrestling Showcase. Tickets are still available in conjunction with DCW Collective. File Ed in San Antonio on the X for further information. Get your tickets today. Tell a friend, tell a professional wrestling fan, tell a fan of women's wrestling to please support this All Women's Wrestling Showcase live in Las Vegas during WrestleMania week. Ed in San Antonio, DCW Collective presents Podermania, and we will be coming here at the Simply Reliable Studios. Stay tuned for further information. JJ, if I were you, please put that thing in the freaking description.
I can't wait for that entire week. I mean, Bloodsport is even part of that. There's so much. Like, dude,
you know
I'm
what?
gonna be I might get on your nerves that day when we go to Bloodsport, dude. Just be prepared.
Look, I know I'm gonna be getting on your nerves the entire week, bro. And as far as staying in the description, though, I don't even give a fuck. Like, I uploaded that after I made it and was showed that video couldn't be monetized because the audio. I don't care.
It's fair.
I am that ecstatic about that interview that as long as we don't run that video on every stream we do going forward, I don't care.
That's the love of wrestling.
I am
damn it.
just so excited. Like I have said this to everybody that I've told about this. This is the biggest interview we have secured to date.
Mm-hmm.
No disrespect to anybody we have talked to in the past. Getting Izzy is the biggest coup that we could get as of right now. Because she's one of the biggest names on the indie circuit that isn't signed to a company, that is working a promotion that we are somewhat involved in. You know, Ed retweeted my post earlier today about the interview tonight, talking about how every show over the next 10 weeks is something to hype Podermania. So we've got him behind us. Like, aside from being able to get Shotzi, who's on this show, who has been WWE, NXT, you know, that's probably the only other big name on this show that we could land. And I'm not saying it's not possible. We've got one vacant week, March 14th. Not going to do an interview next week. Valentine's Day, I'm going to be at GCW, you know. Already got you having to host Shenanigans. Not going to throw that in your lap as well. Not that you couldn't hold it, because I know you can, bro. But not going to make you have to do all of that.
I appreciate it. It's a piece.
But
Don't I do enough already?
you do. But again, like, I know you could handle it, but this is something that I've really been working on, and I want to be there. So it's like,
You should be.
I don't even care that I can't monetize this video or normal Shenanigans, which will begin at the top of the hour, 11 Eastern, 8 Pacific. Don't miss out as we talk about the week in professional wrestling, as we always do. But as long as it's just the Shenanigans videos, I don't care that I can't monetize them right now. This is so big for us.
This is also just big for wrestling in general. That's truly what it's about at the end of the day. We are truly bringing an encompassing picture on the rise of the women's professional wrestling landscape. From Rachel Leigh, who is in the gems of her career, to Izzy Moreno, who we've seen since the beginning continue to flourish, to so many other backgrounds in between that we are going to get to engage and also encourage others to follow the journey on. It's an incredible time.
100%. And we thank the 33 of y'all that have been joining us here tonight, tuned in, for being along for the ride. We hope you'll tune in every single week to see some of the other people that we've got lined up. Again, no interview next week. February 21st, Podermania champion Brittany Blake will be joining us. February 28th, ring announcer Heather Lynn will be joining us. And she may be the ring announcer for Podermania, but Heather Lynn has history in the business. At one time, she was a member of the Family Stone in NWA Championship Wrestling from Hollywood, which contained the current reigning and defending at the time NWA World Heavyweight Champion, now the Raw GM, Adam Pearce.
Adam Pearce.
We've got Kaya McKenna on March 7th. We've got an open date on March 14th. We've got Jocelyn Navarro on March 21st. Haven't even announced it on X yet. We've got La Leona Alejandra Quintanilla on March 28th. I'm just waiting for approval from her on the graphic, but date locked in. And then just announced Izzy Moreno, April 4th. April 11th, the show before Vegas, traditionally, that would be our karaoke show. We still will probably do wrestling karaoke, but Ed will be back on April 11th to talk about any last-minute Podermania news ahead of the show later that week.
Nice.
So all of this jump-started with having Ed in January, It's only apropos that the last person we have is Ed for a final run through of the card. You know, card is always subject to change. If anything has arisen that, you know, maybe it needs to be announced, you know, tickets are still available or sold out. Ed will be there for all of that stuff April 11th. So big moves for the Simply Reliable Studios in 2026. Again, we thank y'all for joining us and watching, and we hope that you are back at the top of the hour. As Nick says, join us for the shenanigans as we discuss Ring of Honor Global Wars, MLW Battle Riot. I'm not going to get too much into Wrestling Revolver because I didn't see that show, and James will not be joining us. But we'll be talking the Jersey J Cup, and so much more. Again, top of the hour. We hope we'll see all you guys here for that. So until then, for the Simple Man Noah Foster, for Mr. Reliable Walter Cruz, for Rachel Lay, and again, shout out to Ed from Podermania. I am the Renegade JJ Williams, thanking y'all for joining us, and we'll see you at the top of the hour.
Have a good